Hi, my name's Jeremy, or Jake Xavier. I've been thinking about whether or not the world needs or wants more guitar players, or blues guitar players, such as myself, such as many other people who are aspiring to make their living through music, and just any music. It doesn't have to be blues, it doesn't have to be rock, it can be rap, metal, trap, whatever, hip hop, classical, or any creative outlet. If you look at the medical or the emergency services or industries, those kinds of industries, you always need more police. You always need more police on the streets, provided they're not military police. You always need more firefighters. You always need more medical responders and doctors and medical practitioners and nurses and everything. You need more old people carers, and you need more. Um, well, quite a lot of things. You need more everything. But when it comes to the creative industry, it's a bit different. The world changes quite quickly. It happens most prevalent, I'd say, in music. I can't speak for art personally because I still don't quite understand postmodernism and modernism. They are I know art changes a lot and goes through evolution, but it works slightly differently to it does in music and drama. I'd say drama's probably the slowest of the three. But with regards to music, the world's music taste changes, and recently, in the last 100 or 200 years or so, it's changed unbelievably fast. I mean, if you look, prior to that, it was basically classical music. I know that you'd get different subdivisions of classical music, but basically, from like 500, 600 years, it was classical music. Imagine the 60s lasting 600 years, that kind of music lasting 600 years. It's just. The fact is that it's changed so much lately, and people seem to think that certain music genres are dying. Personally, I don't believe that's true. I don't believe any music genre, especially nowadays when we have such a vast places, so many places to share our different genres of music and what we love. I don't think any genre will die, personally. You still get disco, even though it died. You still get post punk, new wave. You still get pop punk. You still get jazz. You still get classical. You still get blues. You still get every genre. You look, you will find every single genre out there of music. Gregorian throat singing and throat chanting, kazoos. But it's whether or not the music genre is dying is different from whether or not the world wants it. People seem to think the world not wanting people to make that music is the same as genres dying. And that's not true. Genres dying doesn't happen. It doesn't exist. As long as it was created once, people will make it. And that's something that I've been having self doubts about. The fact is that I know I play the blues, I know I play guitar music, and I know I play rock, and just I love the guitar. But the world doesn't want more blues rock guitar players. That's a statement of fact. The world doesn't want anymore. And what I mean by that is that if you look at all the blues rock guitar players in the world, they all have fan bases, sure. I mean, all the big ones. I mean, famous ones. I mean, people who look at that. It's so difficult to become a famous musician, or not just fame. I mean, a respected musician, someone who has a fan base, someone who has people who will go to their shows, someone has loyalty in their fan base. That's very difficult to achieve nowadays for guitar players or for certain people who just everyone. It happens very rarely. It might happen a lot, But that's the world wanting, it might seem like there's a lot, but the amount of people who try and the amount of people who actually get through is just mind-boggling. The fact that, yeah, okay, nowadays it's a lot easier than it was in the 80s and 90s, but it's still much bigger and amazing to look at. And the thing is, no, the world doesn't want any more guitar players. The world doesn't want any more musicians. It's happy with the ones it's got. People will listen to their music because they have nostalgia with it. They have, oh, I listened to this music piece one time. It made me feel this. And I don't, if I want to feel this, I go to that music piece. I don't go to another music piece to think it. I mean, yeah, people discover new music all the time, but they're happy. Generally, most of the time, they're happy with what they have. And they're happy with what they listen to, and that's just what they listen to. So that is basically what I mean by the world not wanting any more musicians. Or it works the same with acting. It's saying, people see a movie with this famous actor that they've loved since they were small, and I'll use the example of Morgan Freeman. If Morgan Freeman turns up in a movie, you know it's going to be a good movie. I mean, it might not necessarily, or you'll watch it. It doesn't have to be a good movie, but you'll watch it based on the fact that Morgan Freeman is in that movie. Because you know that the experience will be better because you know Morgan Freeman. You know he's a good actor. It's the same with music. It's the same. But going back to the analogy of cinema, because Morgan Freeman is such a prevalent actor, or any famous actor, people don't want to see a movie with nobody they know. So they go and watch the bigger movie that has more people in it. The reason being, they don't want any more actors. They don't want to have to make that relationship they have with any other actor. And that's because it's just so much easier, it's so much simpler, they're happy, they feel these things, they can empathize or enjoy and entertain themselves because of that actor. So when a new actor comes along, they're not interested. Or they won't be unless they watch the movie. They don't know who this. I've never heard of them. I don't want to watch them. I'm going to see this movie with Morgan Freeman in instead. I'm giving Morgan Freeman as an example here. But it happens all the time, and nothing against Morgan Freeman. I love the guy. But it's the same with music. It's the same exactly. This is exactly what I mean with music. People will never look at Jimmy Page's music and say, oh, this guy does it exactly the same as Jimmy Page does it, so I'll listen to them as well as Jimmy Page. It's not quite the same. They like something. So the two parts here are, it has to be you like the certain genre of music, and then someone innovates with that music, or they make a new thing with that music, and that just swirls around. People hear that, people see it, it's different, it's new. But for the other 95% of the people who play and create that music, it's not different enough to be picked up by the people who listen to that 5%. And that's kind of my doubt, is that I will never have that sort of 5% extraordinary talent thing. And I think that's a lot of people's doubts with music. Some people, are happy to just play in their local theatres and performances and play in their local pubs and things and just make the music that they love, tribute bands and stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly acceptable. If that's how you want to make music, that's how you make music. But for the people who want to be big and who want to do this for a living and who want to, quit having to work jobs, they love the music. They have so much that they want to play it forever, and they just want to do that. Those people. There's usually singular people, not bands or anything. They are the ones that I mean by the world doesn't want. The world doesn't want any random people who want to play similar music to what they have. But that's not all bad. My point. What I'm trying to say is that I know music. The people who the world doesn't want, the world still needs. Because I know that music evolves and everything, but not all music. Because of now, the way things are now, all genres of music won't die. Nothing will die. Nothing happens. You still need those people to play that music that you love. And they don't have to change it. It's the people who don't change it that the world needs as well. The world needs everyone. It doesn't just need these 5% who change it and make it better or make it worse or whatever. They don't who change it for the better or to some people. The world also needs that 95% of people who play the same style music that they're influenced by. Play exactly the same style music, or, create their own influences basically from the same style music that they have. And the world still needs those people, because if it doesn't, the genres will die. That's it. The genres will die if it doesn't have those people. And my point, what I'm trying to say after all this whole ramble, what I'm trying to say is that you shouldn't worry if you don't come up with anything new, or don't build off and innovate from it. Because the world, yes, it's still incredibly difficult, and it's far more difficult if you don't come up with something new. But the world still needs you. The world still needs you. You might not be wanted by the world, but you're needed. One day, it will come. One day, you'll be playing, I don't know, something incredibly influenced by Led Zeppelin, or incredibly influenced by Cream, or by B.B. King, or by, I don't know, Metallica, or by AC/DC, or by Guns N' Roses, or anything. You might be heavily influenced by that. The song you'll play will be heavily influenced by that. However, it will come. It will one day just happen, because it's almost like it's like in one ear and out the other. The sort of bubble is full of the musicians making the same music, and when someone pops out, another one pops in. That's a horrible analogy. I'm not going to use that. But it's the music industry, because genres don't die. It will always need those people. It will always need another blues rock guitarist. I mean, it won't one, and that's the discouraging thing. But it needs them, and you can't give up on that. If you want to be a blues rock guitarist, you can't give up on that. Anyway, thank you for my rambling. See you real soon. Bye.